Hello, lovely. It's Friday, November, what the heck day is it? 22nd. 22nd of November. I started cracking up. I had to restart this video 3 different times. You ever have those situations where you start talking about something and when you, listen to what you're saying, I don't know. I do. I was cracking up. Here's why. I'm just going to get to the point. This video is about being thankful for all of our blessings because it's that season. It's being thankful for the blessings that we have to be able to have the tarot and the oracle and chakra and those type of tarot tools and cards and decks that we have, that we're blessed to have. Now, all that being said, grateful, thank you, blessings, yes. Okay, now let's talk to the hoarders. Hi, hoarder. I know there are tarot hoarders. Listen, I watch all your videos. I see the backgrounds. I see your shelves. I see stacks upon stacks upon stacks upon bags upon bags upon bags of tarot cards. I see your stash people and hoarders. Hoarders. The next show that's going to be out there is going to be called Tarot Hoarders. So, you know who you are. And if you're laughing right now, if you're laughing, you know. Because you may not be hoarder status, but you know your foot's in the damn door. Okay. So what I've decided is number one, cannot afford to just, and even if I could afford, I don't want to, just keep buying just to buy. They're all beautiful. They're all gorgeous. They all have their own personalities in the sense of what they bring out in us. The cards don't have actual personalities. They don't speak. They don't do anything. It's through us. So, one day if we're feeling a little melancholy, a little bit, this mood, or if we're feeling a little pissy, a little, angry, we want to use this deck. There's certain, just represents certain different things. Having the different decks and being able to have these tools is such a gift and a blessing. But, I've seen you. Not going to call out everyone, but I'm going to call out a few of you. You know who you are. You have so many decks. And trust me, I'm envious. It's great because, all the decks are beautiful and glorious, but it's like having 100 kids. You cannot give them the time and attention that they need if you have 100 kids. It's just impossible. So, yeah. So I decided at this point, I love what I have. If I keep going, I'm going to get overwhelmed. So the new rule is, if one comes in, one goes out. And that way, same thing with your closet, with your shoes. Like, I'm not a hoarder of clothes. I have bare minimum clothes. I have 3 shirts, 4 pants, a pair of shoes that I wear every single day. I have a couple other shoes, but for the most part, I just have 2 or 3 pairs of shoes. And they're all flip-flops, by the way. But, yeah. So I went through my decks, and there's a deck that I'm wanting, the Visconti deck, and I'm like, okay, well, if I want to get that deck, I'm going to have to get rid of a deck. So I went through my shelf of my tarot and my oracles, and I'm like, okay. Then I pulled a few out. And so here's the ones that I pulled out. And here's what's freaking hilarious. I'm like, haven't used them. Well, this one I use this deck, but I have this out to show you an example of something. And I have not been using these. Haven't been using them. And because, number one, these were not what I ordered or wanted. This is like a mini cheesy, pirated, whatever, from Asia, horrible, awful, terrible deck. It's not the actual real witch's tarot deck. And that's the one I thought I was getting, and I didn't. Same thing with this. This was supposed to be the Gilded Tarot, and it's Guidance of Fate, which I'm confused by because if it is the Guidance of Fate, then the Gilded Tarot, I don't know. The Ghost Tarot, this is not the actual deck from what I've seen. Maybe it is. Don't know. But it smelled like toxic waste that I couldn't even use it because I would get such a headache from the fumes. So I had to like air them out and try to let them breathe for a little while. They did get a little bit better. It's still a little, you know. So I haven't really been using those because of that. I love the cards. Love the cards. Just wish these were the actual real adult version and not the little baby version. This one I ruined because I edged it. It's the most beautiful, glorious, stunning, beautiful deck you'll ever own in your life. And I ruined it trying to edge it. My first edging ruined it. This one right here, the Light Workers Oracle. Beautiful, stunning. I used it one time and I was like, eh. I didn't give it a chance. Haven't read the book. So it's just kind of been sitting there. This deck I do use, and the reason I pulled this one out is I'm going to show you in a minute. I love this deck. Love it. Love, love. Hate. Hate, hate, hate. Loathe entirely. That's a Grinch reference, if you don't know. I can't stand the backs of these. I am not a fan of the color green. I'm not really a fan of color per se, but especially not green. Green is the color of intelligence and genius. I guess I'm just not that smart because this color green, this muted, dirty, muddy, olivey green, no, just not, no. But I love these. So I thought, well, I'll do something different with the backs. So, I kind of put them aside saying, oh, I'll do something different with the backs, and I haven't done that yet. What I did do is I bought this Create Your Own Tarot deck. This was like $9 delivered to my door. So I thought, okay, this could be cool. And it wasn't exactly what I thought. Here's the thing, it's nothing of a cardstock. It's just one step thicker than paper. And you color it yourself, but I'm not doing that. I started to, just because I was bored one day. I'm like, maybe it'd be fun. It wasn't. I'm like, I don't have the attention span for that. But I thought the backs were so cool. The first thing I thought was I would love to gold gild this. You know, with the gold sheets, it has that special glue that you put on. Then you do the gold on top, you brush it off. And then I could go over it with a little hodgepodge. And then that would add a little thickness to the card because it's very boop, boop, beep, boop, beep, you know what I mean? So if I added some glitter on the moon here, and then did these in, you know, little something, and then did this in the gold, and then went over it with the hodgepodge, whatever it's called, Mod Podge, hodgepodge, give the card some thickness, then that would be awesome. So I was like, ooh, I could use the backs. So I thought, well, if I just did the backs in black, like get some black contact paper, which again will add some thickness to the card. I was like, well, if I did this, this is going to add enough thickness to the card, so I could just edge this in black. So I was like, okay, if that was edged in black and that was the back, how cool is that deck? I love that. I don't like the white. I can't stand the white. So the first thing I would do on that aspect is I would cut off the white. So it's a little bit of a wide card. I like bigger cards, but I would just take off that little bit of white, do this in black, edge it in black, and then have that gold. And if I edged it in black, because I don't think I want to do the gold because it's expensive, it's detailed, it's hard, it's all that. Black is so much simpler, and black is my favorite color. So I thought, stunning, absolutely stunning. If you take that white off, you could even do it in blue because you'd have a blue on blue. then you kind of have a blue here. Most of the cards, but some are yellow and some are gray. But anyway, so I thought, okay, that's brilliant. That's a problem solver. So I'm going to have a very unique, one-of-a-kind, my own personal deck. So that's why I have this waiting for me, and that's why I bought this. Okay. Gotta change it. I have to make things as hard as possible. I can't just use them the way they are. It's just for me, I'm a very visual, tactile person. If I don't like the way it looks, smells, feels, it bothers me. So I'm just, that's just who I am. So the reason I have this out is because I like everything to look like a book on my bookshelves. And, you know, with these kind of sitting on a bookshelf, obviously they don't look like books. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to get rid of these because this is way too small. But then I was like, well, wait a minute. And I thought, okay, I have these cards that I'm not 100% in love with. So this right here was like $9, right? Well, I got this pack, I think it was like $7, something like that. So I was thinking about going on there and finding another deck with a, you know, because I love these backs. But these backs are, you know, the Ghost Tarot backs. So I was like, ooh, I want to find something kind of cool, like a really cool deck that's cheap, like this one is. It's got a cool back. And then this is what I thought about doing. Gotta get creative. One of my tarot friends, she's so funny, she called me MacGyver. I'm like, yep, MacGyver, that's me. I'm gonna jack it up, make it better, make it worse, whatever. I'm gonna figure it out. If I can't find something that I like in the way that I wish it was, then I'll just make it myself, because, you know, why not? So if I buy a deck like this, okay, so imagine, if you will, there, it's perfection. I love that. I love that it has like this cool border, and I love that. Then it's got a cool back. But it's weird because then it's like, oh, well, it's not the, you know, Guidance of Fate or Gilded Tarot or whatever it's supposed to be. The backs are really cool. I like the backs. I just wish they were bigger. So if I buy the bigger deck, it's like $25, $27 or something like that. And I'm like, okay, so then, but then you have to add the cost of these, which was like $5, and now it's like $30 I've spent. Instead, I would rather, you know, spend half that and make like a cool version of this. So, but then I was like, well, if I use these, what do I like better? I'm like, but I love the Ghost Tarot, so I don't want to lose the Ghost Tarot. So I decided I'm keeping the Ghost Tarot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to edge it in black because it would be absolutely gloriously stunning. So what I'm going to do is I have one of these boxes. It's bigger. It's larger than this one. It is, oh, I'll show you. This is my Dark Mansion Tarot that I bought, that I've never even opened. I bought it to sell it, so I've got that put away in case I decide to keep it, need it, or to sell. So here's, let me move that. Get myself a little more visual space here. Why am I so close up? All right. So you can get these for $5 shipped to your house, and they look just like books, okay? Just like that. So it's just like this one, only larger. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to take this image, I'm going to print it out from my printer, I'm going to paint this in a very kind of smoky black but depth colors all over, inside and out. And then I'm going to put this image full across on the front. So this whole thing right here will be that. The whole front of this will be this. Then on the side right here, I'm going to print this out. So this whole part here will look just like that. So when it's sitting on the shelf, like so, or you could lay it flat, like so. And then when you open this up, I'm going to print that image out on my printer in a larger form. And then this whole part here will be this. This whole part here will look just like this. Then on this insert part, I'm going to glue in a piece of either this electric blue or black felt. Now, making this a custom box, then what I can do is take my deck and I can put my deck inside of the box. And as well as my deck, I can put in my crystal. Okay, see, you can put in your crystal. And then you can also, if you want to put this in a tarot bag, and then you have your cloth, usually wrap them in your silks. So then you have that. So when this is put away on a shelf, or you can lay it flat and then do your books this way, or do a couple this way and some this way. So all of my shelves look nice and neat and tidy, and I know exactly what's in there, and it's like a beautiful custom box like you would get from some of the Kickstarter from the creators. So that's what I've decided to do. I'm going to make a few for myself. I'm going to post them and see what people think, and if people fall in love with it and like, ooh, make me one, there you go. Then I can start to do that. Same thing with this. Instead of this one being in my Tiffany box, I want to go ahead and do, since I'm not the biggest fan of this, this can go on the inside there so everyone knows what deck that is. Then I could do this in the black. Then on the outside, what I can do is, you know, take my favorite card, blow it up. That can go on the front as such, and then on the side, I can do the Centennial Tarot, like from the box, and print that out and put that on there. So for each and every one, they'll all have their own individual. But, you know, I like them when they fit. So I like the smaller boxes. I just haven't really been able to find these small ones so much. But I figured when I make them personal and put the work into it, I'm just going to love the cards that much more. So in grand total, they're going to cost me about $15 to have my tarot cards custom edged done in a custom box. I mean, and then I'm going to be way more apt to want to use them. And since I put so much into them, it's going to help me bond with the cards and their meaning and make them special and all of that stuff. So I started out going, oh, I'm going to get rid of, these are all the cards I'm going to get rid of. Not so much. It's turning out that, oh, I think I'm going to not get rid of these. I think I'm going to keep these, make them a special box, make them important, make me like them more, and then there you go. So then I was like, oh, okay, I ruined these completely. They're the most beautiful, stunning cards in, oh, this deck is, look at that. I edged them in black. I mean, they're gorgeous. I mean, it looks like $1,000,000, but when I edged them, the ink leaked all over my cards, and I just ruined them. It's the first one I did, the first edging I did, and I just really fucked everything up. So, or I guess I shouldn't curse. So then I was like, oh, you know what I could do? I love the backs of these cards. So I hate the backs of these. I could just do that. Bing, bang, boom, problem solved. I was so proud of myself. I was like, oh my God, that's going to be the most beautiful tarot deck anyone's ever seen in their whole life. I'm so doing this. And then the intelligent green part of my brain said, Melinda, Nina, Nelson, what are you thinking? There's 78 tarot cards. There's only 44 oracle cards. What you gonna do? And I was like, son of a bitch. So my brilliant plan went right out the window. So since I love the cards, but I've kind of ruined them, you know, I kind of wrote the meanings on there because it's like, oh, this is a this stone. This is a this stone. I thought these would help me learn my crystals. Kind of like flashcards, you know what I mean? And they're really cool for that. I just wish that they had like all the meanings on them. So I wrote them on there, what they represent, all of that. And you can't really see it now because of that it bled through. However, I do feel like I can take maybe an oracle deck that I don't like the backs of or something, and then I can make or print out my own oracle deck, which is at the end of the day what I decided to do because I've been wanting to do my own tarot / oracle deck. So now look at what I have. I have the box, which I can change this. I have here where I could change this. Now I have my own custom box, which I can edge in my own like contact paper or what have you. I have my own deck. I won't have my own book, don't need one, but I have my own deck. So now I have 44 to 48 cards and print them out and then hodgepodge them on the back with this amazing cardstock and this glorious back. And then I have my own custom oracle deck. So here's the point. There's never a mistake. Nothing's ever trash. Never throw things out. There's always, you could repurpose everything. You could repurpose it. I'm so repurposing this and I'm actually really excited about this. I just need to figure out how to hook up my printer and how to, and get some printer paper, and then I'll be good to go. So I can't really sell this because I kind of, you know, messed it up beyond, so I can't really sell that one. This one is so cheap and so small, and it's like paper. I edged it, which was supposed to be gold, but it turned out like a muddy, flat, antique-y. It got on the edges. You can see it got on the edges. The cards are not fun to touch. They're so tiny. Look how tiny. They're like little, tiny little. It's like little potato chips, like little, you know. So I can't, no one's going to buy these. So I figured, you know what? I'll figure out a purpose, like I said, to get something like that. Put it on there, salvaged. And then it's a kind of a cool personalized deck. And I'm going to re-edge these in this blue. I'm going to do the blue on here. Oh, it's not going to be gorgeous. Gorgeous. And then do a custom box. That way they have like their own personality and they're special and they're not a mistake anymore. So those keeping. This keeping. This keeping. This keeping. So the whole thing was, oh, I'll get rid of all of these cards. Which ones am I getting rid of? None of them. Mine. 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 It's like if I was having a garage sale, could you imagine? How much for these? No, you can't have them. They're mine. Oh, I'm ridiculous. I'm ridiculous. Okay. So I bought this deck, and I've learned in a very short time to be careful not to do quick last minute, oh, I saw it, I like it, buy it. No, think about it for a little bit. I bought this and I was like, okay, I love the big cards. Love. It's got a decent box. I prefer magnetic or, you know, flip up top or whatever, but this is one step above a tuck. Okay. It's got a really glorious book. I've not read it. But I can tell you it's nice sized. It's not microscopic. With my glasses, I could actually read this. I just have to go get my new glasses, which I'm putting off because I hate to go out of my home. I'm kind of agoraphobic in a sense. Not 100%, but about 70, maybe 80, maybe 92. I don't know. So I definitely want to read this book. I've been finding that when you read the books, and by the way, the Tarot Wonderland, if you haven't read the book on that cover to cover, you're doing yourself a disservice. Last night I worked with the cards, I read the book, and let me tell you what, it changed I haven't been using those cards. I edged them and then kind of put them away. They should use the Tarot Wonderland to for traumatized children, because that deck, it's unbelievable how incredible that book is. All right, anyway, so I'm going to read this book, and then the backs are stunning and beautiful, gorgeous, great cardstock, amazing cardstock. They're a little glossy. They kind of stick slightly. I know a lot of people don't like that. And the imagery is absolutely beautiful, but I just haven't really given them a chance. So I was going to let them go, but there's been like my numerology deck and other decks that I was like, oh, I'm going to get rid of them, and then couldn't, and then used them, and now you couldn't pry them for my cold dead hands. So I thought, what if I get rid of this deck and then I missed out. So I'm going to read the book. I'm going to use them. I'm going to see at that point, is this one of like my numerology things where you can't pry it from a hand? Or after I give it all of that, I'm still like, meh, then I can buy, sell, trade, whatever. So, keeping. So, let's take a look at all of the decks as I went through my collection. Let's look at all the ones that I'm going to be letting go of. Oh, look at that. A big pile of 0. Absolutely nothing. I'm not getting rid of anything. Hi, I'm Nina, and I'm a tarot hoarder.